How do very wealthy people split the bill when they eat together? 1. Several years ago, I had the unique opportunity to witness dinner between Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and their families during the annual Berkshire Hathaway shareholders meeting. I'd heard of a steak restaurant that they are known to frequent in Omaha and had made reservations months in advance for my father and me. I knew the odds were slim that I'd have a chance of being in the restaurant on the same day, let alone at the same time, but it was worth a try. We arrived 30 minutes ahead of our reservation to find a long line of people waiting to be seated and yet a large section of the restaurant void of any seated guests. When we checked in, I joked to the hostess that she could seat us back with Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. In fact, she did just that. We were the closest table to theirs in the back room and could easily make out bits of the conversation and see their table. When the check came, and in fact it did come, there were no staff members, tabs to be settled at later dates by a personal assistant. It was just the same black check holder that we all are accustomed to receiving. It was placed in the center of the long table between Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, the two richest men in the world at the time, with a combined wealth of $108 billion. They then proceeded to fight over a check that I estimate could not have been more than $500 for their party. While I do not recall the conversation word for word, the brief debate was settled after Warren Buffett declared that Bill Gates had treated last time and it was in fact his turn to buy. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are well known for humility and generosity. As such, it should not have come as a surprise to witness such events transpire. Nevertheless, it was a humbling experience to witness this gesture and realize that while we have a fascination with the wealthy and successful, they in many ways are no different from you or me. 2. Having eaten many times with people in the $500 million to $5 billion range of net worths in Silicon Valley, I can tell you it's generally a case of each person offering to pick up the check, then a brief period of no, you got it last time, it was my idea, I should get it, I'll get it this time, and you get it next time, usually settled by the person doing the organizing/inviting picking it up. This is true even when the relative wealths are wildly disparate. When I'm having dinner with a billionaire, I pull out my credit card along with everyone else, and if I extended the invitation, I expect to win the brief debate. There's never a situation where people expect the richest person in the room to pay to even hint at it would show a level of cluelessness that will ensure you don't get many follow-up invitations. The bill is never split. The give and take nature of picking up the bills is such that there's an implicit we'll be doing this again in the future, and you can get it next time. It provides a sense of ongoing continuity among peers. Asking for split checks is tantamount to saying we need to settle up now, because there's never going to be a future lunch where the balance can be restored. You'd only do it if you were breaking off relations with that person or people, and you wanted to punctuate the subtext with "we're done. This is it. When we walk out of here, we're finished, forever." And I've never seen anyone slam a door that hard in business. 3. When I was younger, I was a waitress at a Chinese buffet. Every month, a local man who had won over $50 million would bring the clan in for the Sunday brunch. He would pay for the meals, but any drink was to be on separate bills for each individual. Buffets are actually more work for the wait staff than at a regular service restaurant, and refilling 28 water glasses 4 or 5 times and clearing that many plates as often was a lot of labor. Once the multitude of bills were paid and the people left, never once did any of them leave a tip, and as those tips paid for my university education, that was the only part I never understood. As for a bunch of rich celebrities going out together, when I lived and worked in London, England, Goldie Hawn left without paying. Steven Seagal threw his ashtray at me when I presented him with his bar tab and walked out. Richard Branson regularly brought his nubile gaggle of young blonde girlies in for lunch and would tip the equivalent of $2 Canadian for a $1,500. Oh Bill, I honestly do not care who pays the bill among a group of wealthy people, but I wish that everybody, rich and poor, would remember to treat others with some respect and manners. Please and thank you are simple words too many have forgotten as they climb that ladder. 4. Rick grabs Bill. Brady, I don't think so. Rick grabs Bill back. Brady, this one's on me, mate. Tyler, ha 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 ha. You're very funny, Brady. Now give me that. Sarah, guys, stop fighting. I already said I'm paying. Tyler, over my dead body, proceeds to take out card. Rick, that can be arranged, cracks knuckles. Waitress, so should I split the bill 4 ways? 5. A long time ago, I was mentored by a wealthy person whose circle included high-ranking politicians, billionaires, and celebrities, etc. Whenever he invited people for a meal, not only did he always pick up the tab, but he also made sure they had the best table, and his guests were seated in a way to have the best view and next to someone they don't already know well so they can have an engaging conversation. There's a famous restaurant in Honolulu called Alan Wong's. Sometimes President Obama dined there with his friends and family. Surprisingly, aside from security, they didn't disturb other patrons. Everyone just tried their best to eat and pretend they're not eating next to one of the most powerful men in the world. I imagine the Obama table didn't split the bill.